Alright, welcome back, guys. So, I finally got a chance to catch up with Boruto, right? As you guys can see here. And, I've seen the memes, I've seen the photos, I've seen all that stuff. So I was like curious, and it was like, hmm, what if the rumors are true about Cash and Koji? Like, legitimately, who is this guy, right? Like, everyone seems to think he's Jiraiya. I've seen some posts saying that, like, he's like one of the Sarutobi because he looks a lot like one of them from like the tuning exams, and I'm like, I don't think Kishimoto would go that far. But I'll get to like my biggest theory on this in a little bit. But there is a pretty surprising amount of evidence in this case. So first things first, I believe we start with this one, is that our first instance of seeing him in battle, he does this summoning jutsu and summons a giant toad to kill that one guy from informing everybody. Like, toads, okay? Why toads? Of all the toads in this, I guess, universe, there's only like, what, two toad users that we knew of up to that point. I mean, there was three well-known ones being Jiraiya, Minato, and Naruto. But, so I know that there was spots when Naruto signed for people who have signed with the toads. So that's always a little interesting right there. I always thought that was pretty cool, the toad aspect. But it's in this that you start to like see little things, close-ups, like the white hair, the beard. Excuse me there. Granted, it's hard to understand a lot, but this is like where things start to like come together. It's like, why would this guy be able to summon toads and control the ground and then do special types of fire jutsu? And then here's the real kicker. So we see Konohamaru start to like fight, and then he does a Rasengan, right? The Rasengan is only known by a couple of people. That being, as you can see, Kashin Koji does a Rasengan. So Minato invented it, taught it to Jiraiya. Kakashi copied it, taught it to Naruto. Naruto taught it to Konohamaru, and then I believe Naruto passed it on to Sasuke in some sort to pass to Boruto. I forgot how that happened. It's been a long time since I've read that. But the thing is, very few people in this universe know this jutsu, which is the first interesting thing. Like, you're like, dude, like, okay, that's one. Maybe other people could have heard of it, but Kashin Koji here, man, like, this is what like started the rumors, right? Like, it blew people's minds. And as you can see, he cancels out a Rasengan for Rasengan, which is a common tactic. This is how you know you've advanced your Rasengan if you've learned Naruto. And then you see the little toad, like, and the fire, and this is like toad oil. Like, we don't know what it is exactly right now, but then we find out it's toad oil, which like completely blew my mind. Here I'll show here, which is my next confusion for it. Okay, so so this is when they're gonna infiltrate the village because they have Kawaki on their side now, and his first thought is, well, as you can see, he says here that you can't step into Konoha unless your chakra is registered with them. They don't have that same sensory system. So if you weren't born there in a sense, then you couldn't go through. Well, as you can see, he's like, well, that's why you stay, and I'm gonna go. Crosses in just fine, triggers no alarms, triggers nothing. So at the very least, we know that his chakra readings are like legitimately a part of Konoha. So Konoha, it's so white there. Nah. So that's something that I thought was cool. So again, the Sarutobi thing holds up here, but the Jiraiya thing even more important because Jiraiya and his toads, Jiraiya and his readings, like, remember, they couldn't like remove Jiraiya's signatures because of how things went along. But then here's where I think, like, they reset the village, right? So after Pain destroyed the village, they had to rebuild with new sensors and everything. So Jiraiya wasn't here from that point, so that's why I don't think that this is where like you feel like he can't be Jiraiya, but at the same time, like, it could be a Sarutobi. I actually don't know Jiraiya's last name, so maybe if Jiraiya has family, or if anything, he probably could have mimicked Naruto's like Sage Chakra, which who knows? Like, I'm not very understanding here, but at the very least, we know he's from Konoha, so up a little bit. So this is like where people really started to kick off, right? And then here's the big one. So last month's release, I finally caught up. This is why this is happening. So we find out that Kashin was actually built to actually defeat Jigen. Like, he was the man built for Jigen. And that's the thing, and like they have this fight, and then down below he actually uses more fire style, but then he does the toad oil. And as you can see even here, there's a scene where Naruto starts to realize that Kashin fights so much like Jiraiya. Like, well, he doesn't state who, but he shares so many resemblances to Jiraiya. It's insane in his fighting style. Or maybe Naruto met somebody else that we just don't know of and they're pulling our leg. But as you can see, he gets pushed back, immediately goes for the wet loose floor, and then boom. Alright, the seal. Oh yeah, the seal. And then he can't, that's so that's another secret. I don't want to ruin that. But those are fires. So why he's useless here is well, first one, he's from the giant mountain of fire. So what was it exactly? Oh yeah, from the flaming mountains. So the reason that's so this is no Canton, because Katon is when he fights, when he lights the toad oil with his chakra, and then that's fire, and he can, and you know, there's a whole thing about that with karma. A lot of secrets of karma revealed here. But here's the thing: these are flames directly from the flaming mountains, and where you train to become a Sannin, where you train in like Sage Chakra and all that. The Toad Village is just past the Flaming Mountains, so this guy has access to the Flaming Mountains, which is, well, if he has a toad, he has to, you know, at least understand that in this regard. So that was like another one that started to let people like learn a lot. And then here's where you find out that this is exactly how they're like gonna learn to kill the Otsuki. Like, this is all tied together. But in the previous, I believe in the previous chapter, like there was a whole scene where Kashin goes, "I was made to kill you." And that got me thinking in a lot of the comments too, surprisingly. What if Kashin is Jiraiya's body? Like, he's not Jiraiya, but he's Jiraiya's body. Like, that's a big possibility. Because Jiraiya's body was never recovered because it wasn't used in the Great Ninja War. So, I don't know, man. Like, is it Jiraiya's body? Because if it is, you know, that'd be a big loop. But at least they get to put Jiraiya's body to rest. If it is, in some sort. If not, maybe he's somebody from Konoha who was taken, you know, to work on, and, you know, like they did all the modifications to his body so that he could defeat Jigen. Like, this is all, it turns out, like his own sole purpose was to defeat Jigen. He's perfectly happy being a tool. But the thing that lets us know that he's a little older is that his mentality is ninjas are tools. Like, that was the old mentality. And now that he's like there, you know. So I mean, I just wanted to do a quick on that because, you know, usually I do those ranked videos or tier lists, but, you know, I was just reading, catching up, and studying for finals. You know, made this my break, but wow. So I really feel like this is really important because, well, this is what's gonna set the pace, because Kawaki being here and finding out the truth of karma, this is gonna like lead directly into like the next big arc. And this is where we like find out what happens, like the opening scene that we see in the Boruto anime and the manga. Like, shit's about to hit the fan, guys. So I mean, that's all I got today. So, but I thought it was pretty cool. Well, anyways, man, thanks for watching.